The richest man in American history isn't alive today, even by considering the inflation and how much the American dollar and value of the American dollar has risen in the last 100 years since his death. He is still considered the richest man of all time, or businessman of all time, not counting kings like Mansa Musa. Even after generations of spending money, his family still does not have to work, but they do because they want to. I respect them for that. I believe by studying what he did, we can figure out a way to become just like him. Rockefeller was a positive businessman and lived that way for his whole life. After choosing my topic, I used several resources such as the Saint Mary Banner, which was a chronicle or article written by on him back when he was still alive. So it's a very historical article, which I love history, and and American newsletters written about him from the 1800s. Johnny Rockefeller was a smart and capable businessman who made choices and investments and tactics that are still used today. He was also a caring soul who gave some of his fortune to charity. Today, I'm going to look over him and his tactics and what he did to become a great businessman, like his charisma, his deal making, how he dissolved his partnership and made a corporation, how he became a monopoly, how he bought out companies, and how he made his goods so profitable and cheap. Rockefeller was born in July 8th, 1839, to a man named Davidson Rockefeller, who was a con artist. He would sell people elixirs that he said were cure-alls, but weren't really cure-alls. When people got mad, they would come chase after him, and he got to move from place to place. After a bad deal, he moved to Cleveland, Ohio, where Rockefeller got his first job as a bookstore owner, not owner, sorry, a bookstore keeper, where he would show books and make sure the books were good, and also rent them out to people. After that, he became an owner of his own business, where he would sell meat and other goods, which was very profitable because he made $500,000 in 1 year in his first year of business. But he always wanted more, and so he got him, his brother, and other people to do something for him. And this is the part where everybody's gonna want to listen. This is the part where everybody's gonna want to listen because this is where he made money. So this is where I'm gonna tell you how he made money. He when the oil rush started back in 1800s, he originally was gonna go drill for oil, but he decided that was too dangerous and too costly. So he decided refining was a better route. So him, his brother, and a chemist gathered all the money and bought the first factory. And as soon as they started refining oil, they started making profit because of how they did it. The way they did it was they would refine the oil like any other person would, but they would also use the byproducts, the parts that people didn't want to use for the oil. They would sell it or use it for fuel to power their factories, or they would sell it to people who wanted it. And as their profit started to grow, Rockefeller just bought his own forests and made his own barrels, which made his stuff even cheaper and more profitable. And he also invented a tactic that people use today, where he would lower his prices so low that other companies could not compete, and they would just go out of business, or they would ask Rockefeller to buy them up, which is what he did, and that's how his company started to grow and grow. And by the height of his company, he owned more than 90% of America's oil. There are also other men who helped him, including Carnegie, who was his close friend, but they had a falling out. Eventually, the railroads got eventually the railroads that Carnegie owned were going out of business because there's only so much land you can put railroads on, and so Carnegie um, had to make his price for Rockefeller higher, and Rockefeller basically said no to that, and invented another tactic that businesses use today: pipelines. Rockefeller made is the first pipeline, so he could get oil to his customers cheaply and more efficiently, which basically cut Carnegie out of the picture and made him even more money. Eventually, Rockefeller's business got too large, so the government had to split it up into several different entities, which are still around today, like Chevron, ExxonMobil, and other companies that we see today. But even by doing this, he made even more money because he had so much investments in those other companies. He was also a philanthropist, giving money back to the community. He made the Rockefeller Center back in 1930s because he wanted to help with the Great Depression, which was ravaging America at this time. Building the building provided jobs, but after the building was finished, the building provided more jobs by having people work in the restaurants, hospitals, various hotel rooms inside the building, which helped the economy some until World War II happened. Rockefeller had a quote, and he said, "Don't be afraid to give up the good and go for the great," which is what he did with his first business. He gave up his first business, which was a good business, but became even greater than that. Rockefeller, as seen in this, is still the richest man to ever have lived in America. As you can see, he's more wealthy than Bill Gates by a lot. The only person who was close was Carnegie, which lived at his time. Overall, Rockefeller was a good businessman and a great strategist. He was a person of great wealth, and he invented tactics that we still use today and still rely on today in business, such as the tactic of lowering your prices to outcompete your competitors. Also a good man and a philanthropist who gave back to the community. He was not born a rich man, but he became a rich man by hard work and know-how. And it is said from articles I've read that he was a very good man when you met him, and you wanted to do business with him because of how he presented himself. Thank you.